Hey guys, welcome back to Bodyworking Kustoms on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage, Area 51. More bodywork, just for a change, yeah? Subscribe if you haven't done so already, that'd be awesome. Okay, so last week we did this little corner piece here, and I noticed that this stuff here was pretty kind of whoop-de-woos, and there's lots of hammer marks and dents and all sorts of crap in there. And you have to excuse, we've got the old laundry going over there. And I was thinking today maybe I'd spend a bit of time on the old, get the slappers back out and spend a bit of time trying to smooth that out, but which I may do yet. But anyway, I want to get into this area here. It's now kind of bugging me that it's, the trunk lid's starting to look good, the roof's starting to look goodish, and but this is still a mess, and so are these rear quarters. But one step at a time. I want to do something with this gap here. I'll show you. This gap here, it flares out between sort of here and here. I've been puzzling over that all week. I'm trying to decide whether I should kind of slice it open and weld it up and end up kind of messing up what nice factory curves I've still got there, or whether to just slap a bit of new tech in there and a bit of bog and stuff like that, just to kind of even that gap up. New tech's pretty strong, bog could get chipped and stuff like that. That can be sanded out. If it doesn't work, it can be sanded out. But if I cut into that and end up with a ripply mess all the way up the top of there, I could just end up with a ton of new tech and bog and shit in there anyway. So I'm kind of thinking I'll use filler to get it. I mean, looking at it now, it looks kind of big, but I think at its maximum it's only 2 or 3 millimeters, like it needs to come over. So cutting it open and running all the risk of doing all that kind of stuff just kind of gives me the willies a bit. So I've been in and I've been doing a bit of sanding in here just to kind of key up some of this area to run a bit of new tech and stuff through. But yeah, I'll show you what I mean. I'll grab some tape and show you. Hopefully the camera can see this the way I want it to. Let's have a look. Maybe if I run a piece of tape down from here and get a fairly even gappage through there, at its sort of maximum, I've got like a maybe 1/8 of an inch, about 3 millimeters at its widest in this section here, and then it sort of comes back to normal right about there. So I reckon I'll just try filling it. Does that sound like cowboyish or what? But like I say, like these are got nice factory curves. There's a bit of a seam there from factory lead under there that's been kind of taken out a bit with my sanding and the previous owner's sanding in these areas. I just don't want to kind of make a mess of it. This one here is not so bad. This one here I think I can live with. It's a little bit wider right through about there, but I'm not too concerned about that. So just get me a pencil, use my eyeballs, go from looking about there to about there, that I kind of want to add a bit through to, but then overlap it to about there-ish, So that's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah? So I've got a little bit of a plan how to get a kind of even edge in there without having too much in there, and we'll see how that goes. Plus I want to kind of start getting some of the new tech over these welds and stuff down here. I'll kind of maybe go to the top of the guard on both sides and do this whole back section and that bit there, just kind of tackle that chunk for now. and then when I do the rear quarters kind of fully, I'll do, you know, start smoothing out up there. You know, when I say the rear quarters fully, I mean doing down the sides and stuff like that. Yeah? Okay, so let's get into it. Alright, so I've made myself a broken pencil, a bit of a cardboard sort of straight edge that I'm going to tape down there, that I'll show you what that's all about in a minute. I just want to cut some little notches out of it. I don't know if this is going to work, but I've never tried doing this before, but we'll see what happens. You're probably thinking, what the hell is this clown up to now? But I've got a plan. Whether it's a successful plan or not, I don't know. So that's my kind of thing there. So I go through about from there to about there, I reckon, with my new kit. That'll do it, I reckon. That'll hopefully get me a good enough sort of edge. Might chuck a bit of I'm not going to need that, am I? That's alright, I'll just leave that on there for now. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so this happened. I'm going to peel this off now. Like I decided I mixed up way too much just to do that, so I started doing that, then I ran out, and then I kind of need to make some more, and then it just escalated. So see if this has kind of worked. I want to try and peel it off before the... Alright, that might be alright. I'll leave that to cure up before I do anything to it. I should shut the boot lid actually and have a look. Put that up there just in case I need it. Hang on. Yep. Yeah, that might be alright. If it stays strong enough is kind of my biggest concern, but yeah, so I actually wasn't really expecting so much to squeeze through, but I thought I might have to do a little skim across the top, but I don't think I will actually after seeing that. I've still got to do a bit in here. That's as far as I wanted to go on that side for now, I think. I'm kind of like, you kind of just really want to kind of hit the whole thing, but you can't. It gets too big of a task and you kind of start, I don't know, I do start cutting corners. But so I'm trying to focus on just doing this tail light to tail light kind of area, and then move on. But it's sort of joining those move-ons that I try to get my head around, because I mean here I'm going to have to join in my body working into this, and it's sort of like, where do you stop when you're doing that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. Carry on. Hopefully this video edit comes up alright, because I'm just like not really thinking much about anything as I'm trying to explain it. Okay, carry on. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start kind of just trying to smooth that out. I'm wondering if it might actually be a bit too tacky still, but it's quite greasy feeling still, but maybe I'll wait a little bit longer. But next time I switch the camera on, I'll be doing some of that stuff. Yeah? Okay. That's all. Hey guys, so roughed down that first skim of New Tech. Now in the other stuff I haven't done multiple skims of New Tech, but this time I am, because I've got like a low spot there and I just want to build it up with that rather than normal kind of bog, you know. And there was another little bit here, so I just kind of, the middle was all good, but even when I did this I just could not get my shit to line up. So I thought, well, again, chuck my head in the sand, worry about it later. It's now later. Yeah, just gonna let that kind of cure up. I decided to try and rough it in with the DA just because I got a really sore elbow and a sore knee, and I'm feeling like an old man today, I tell you. Elbow's been sore since I put the body on way back about 4 or 5 months ago now. I strained it trying to undo a bolt and it's kind of never really come right, and it seems to be giving me a bit of jip this week, a bit more than usual. But yeah, and for some reason my knee's giving me jip again. That's an old walking injury from my competitive, you know, international power walking days. Not really, I was going for a walk and it went oh shit, and it's never really kind of come right again as well. So I'll let that cure up, hit it with the DA again, and yeah, then we might start laying on some poo or bog or bondo or schmoo, mud, you know, that kind of stuff, and start slinging this out. But so far the bit that I was most worried about, that looks good. Hopefully I can get the rest of this to kind of toe the line. Okay, so knee's still killing me. God, I don't know what I've done to it, but it's sore. That's as far as I'm going to do that fiberglass anyway. I think it's down all low enough that now kind of just an even skim of normal Bondo should get me into the ballpark, and then maybe a second skim or a 12th skim is what normally it turns out being. Yeah, but I don't know if I've sort of mentioned this before. I'm not too fussed about it being like laser straight, you know. I'm looking driver quality. I just don't want rust, you know. Don't really want a shiny, super slick lead sled either. So some of you folk might be a little bit disappointed with what I've got planned for this. I don't know what, yeah, I know some people hate it, some people love it, but I love patina cars. So I like clean interiors and nice interiors, but I also like cars that look like they've you know, seen a few miles and a few summers, if you know what I mean. So summers, not winters, like rusty winters. I'm talking summers that, you know, dry dry stuff. So we'll see where that takes us. You never know, it might end up a shiny car, or it might end up not a shiny car. You know, like I actually really like the way this car looked just in its primer and its battle scars and its weld marks and stuff. I actually thought it looked pretty cool, but I needed to get it all kind of sealed up and straightened out a bit more to, you know, get it all legal here in New Zealand. So here we are, kind of going to this level. It's not going to be like show quality level. It's going to be straightish, you know. But my idea has always been to kind of have it look a bit like it could have been a factory model. So, you know, keep some of the trim, some, you know, obviously the body modifications and stuff like that, but kind of have it look like it could have been a factory model that's maybe been airbagged and, you know, then kind of drug out of the weeds and put back on the road, sort of thing, you know. Whether I can kind of pull that off convincingly, well, yet to tell, but yet to find out, or something like that. I don't know quite what the right words are, but anyway, I'm going to mix up a whole bunch of Bondo and set about giving this a bit of a skim and take it from there. So, wish me luck. First skim down, grossly overestimated my abilities to get through these complex kind of curves and shit like that and get it laid down smooth before it started going off. So traffic. With that being said, it started going off and got a bit ropey in here and there, but it's alright. We're probably going to sand most of it off again anyways, but yeah, I was thinking, yeah, I'd do this kind of like ballerina dance of just laying it all down, but no, it didn't actually happen that way. I was kind of, it'd be cool to have a bit more flex in my squeegees. That plastic one was a bit too stiff actually, and it was digging in. Would that be better? Doing a bigger one might be better, and then I can get keep that out for next time. Yeah, so let that go off, give that a bit of a rub back, clean up some of the daggy bits, stuff like that, you know. Hey, how's it going? Gave that a little bit of a skim while I could come over here and spend some time sanding. Now this is actually kind of pretty close. I wish I'd kind of got a little bit more thickness to it, because I kind of got a few low spots and you know, like little just bad application sort of stuff, which is, they just kind of need a little kind of like spot fill, but I kind of feel like I should skim the whole area again, which means I might find I will create issues elsewhere. But like, I'm actually kind of pretty happy with most of this. It's a bit high there, but that curve there is kind of flowing around pretty good. But as you can see, I've got these little little diggity bits in there, and there's a bit down the bottom there I can feel, and a few bits up on the top of the guard there as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Again, looks like a lot. It's pretty thin in most places, fortunately. Some of it's a bit thicker. Wow, even at its thickest, it's probably only a couple of millimeters, and it probably could be sanded out a bit more. But like in here, I built that up a bit more with the old fiberglass, so should be right, as long as you don't slam the boot too hard and it all cracks and falls out. See, that's what I've got to do, is bring the boot down and have a look and see how all the gaps in that are starting to pan out. But yeah, I might give this another skim now and then start sanding all of that. Know what I'm saying? Okay, so skimmed. I just sort of discovered, like, using the little smallest like Bondo bog blade knife thing. I sound like I've got things in my ears because I have. Just on those kind of corners, whenever I tried to use a big one, and in here I kept like digging corners in and stuff like that, so I switched to that little one, and it actually kind of made it a little bit easier. So if you're having trouble getting inside those weird curves or on those kind of sharp apexes and stuff, maybe switch to a smaller bog spreader, and then use the big ones on these big areas, you know. So anyway, sanding. Okay, I have to leave it at that for today, because pretty much got that side done. Got to go and pick up the young fella from work very shortly, and dipshit myself, that me dipshit, didn't put enough hardener when I skimmed that side, so it's almost there, but it's just a little bit gooey. So I'll leave it overnight and see what happens. Hopefully I'm not scraping it out or wire wheeling it or anything like that. But yeah, again, looks like a lot, but she's really just a couple of fairly light coats. There's probably a little bit more built up in these, well, not so much there, you can see through it there, but probably in there and in there, a little bit in there, just kind of a little bit of build up. The same on that side. The rest of it's relatively thin, other than the fiberglass bit where I kind of built up that edge and that edge, but even that, this is where we started this. I mean, I haven't taken the rounded off the corner yet, but we've got kind of a maximum of about 1/8 of an inch at its thickest. It is a weak point if you knock it, unfortunately, but it's either that or cut it open and weld it up and stuff, which we talked about that this morning, and I'm not prepared to do that yet. So till tomorrow. Just been and dusted myself off with the compressor, and yeah, getting there though. Okay, so next day I've already come in and I've sanded, did the sand of that final skim. It did seem to go off alright in the end. It's a little bit kind of gummy. Once kind of broke through that surface, it sanded up fine, sort of thing. So hopefully that won't have any negative effects later on. But to be fair, probably 98% of it got sanded back off anyway. I was only kind of chasing a couple of little bits, and I thought I'd skim the whole thing and didn't put enough hardener in there, you know, I told you, but that's how it happens. Didn't do a good job of that. Like around these tail lights here, I haven't, like, because I haven't done around that side there, this is just like a messy kind of finish sort of thing. I'll kind of lay back into that when I do the quarter panels, I reckon. My main objective was to get these gaps and this main kind of roll pan, and like from the inside pretty much dialed in. I think I've still got a bit of a flat spot on the top of that rear fender there, the right hand side. But that's alright. Again, we'll lay in when we into squirrel. Anyway, we'll lay over those again when we get that far, you know, when we start doing the quarters. As long as I remember. If I forget, then we'll probably paint it and then go, oh, there's a flat spot. So I've been into this, as I said, with the 80, rub that down. There's a little pinhole there, but I'll get that with a glaze. Went back over it all with 150, and I just did a quick once over with some 240, just to try and eliminate some of the kind of scratches that I'm leaving behind in my body filler. So it's still sanding. It gets done eventually anyway, whether it gets done in this stage or in the primer stage, I don't know. Pretty happy with that gap up the side there now. I've still just got to kind of soften the edge. Same with all this bottom stuff here. I've just got to kind of run through and take that edge off it. I've just left it kind of hard square at the moment while I did all the other sanding, and I'll do that last and probably cock it up. I have to put more Bondo on there, filler, mud, bog, whatever you want to call it. Oh god, it's hard working to an international audience. But yeah, so I'm just going to smooth out that edge. You know what I'm saying? So, need a smaller block. I've got my little block. Which one should I use? I don't know, but I'll do that and then a big cleanup. Washing machine. If you've been on the channel a while, that happens quite a lot. Okay, I've done a quick and dirty mask on the inside of the kind of trunk area thing, just to, you know, kind of just so I don't get overspray all over the inside of the boot, even though the inside of the boot's not finished, you know, the floor parts and that. It's just more mess to clean up later. But before I do that, because I thought I'd, you know, chuck a bit of epoxy on that again, but I might get in here. Oh, there's my knees. The sore knee yesterday is not the clicking thing. That's a whole nother issue that's been going on for my whole life. The clicking thing, that never hurts. This part that's sore is a different part. But anyway, like, hang on, I'll just shut this door. Yeah, you can see it better now. There's a wee washing machine. There's a wee whoop-de-woo there, and there's lumpy stuff going on here, a little knock there. So back there's not too bad, but it'd be quite nice to sort of try and push this out and sort of straighten it out and stretch it out a little bit again, because it does, you can see it there, steps in there. So I want to try and push that out a bit and kind of straighten it out a bit if I can, without making it worse. Like my knee is worse now after crouching down like that. Dang. Anyway, go and get me some tools. And what do we got? Extendo-matic 500C, weight pending. Dollies. That's another extendo kit. Kind of works for some stuff. Oh, that washing machine. And this baby. Alright, I need two hands. Okay, just trying to, I don't want to crouch down on that knee. Just trying to push this out a little bit, and then I can get in there and do some hammering and stuff. I should have brought a ruler. I forgot. Ugh. Old bones. Because we definitely got high spots in there and a bit of a low back there. I don't know I'll be able to get back that far to push it out. I don't think. It would be kind of nice to kind of flush this out a little bit more, but it's not too critical. I'd rather it was strong than pretty. Know what I'm saying? Strong. Right. I gotta get a roller. Does need to come out here, but right there, it's right on that joint there. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so that's marginally better. It's not so lumpy bumpy. It's still got a few little lumpy bumpies in there, but it's still a little bit recessed. I'm not gonna like try to tell you that it's like a full-on metal finish, because it's not. You've been here for a while, you know that. But it's kind of at the point where I'm gonna squirt some of the epoxy on that and around the old roll pan area, I guess you'd call it. But that's good enough, because I mean I'm gonna have to put a little bit of fiberglass and a little bit of bog and shit in there anyway, so it'll be alright, eh? Yeah. Got dust all over the screen, and yeah, so let's mix up some paint, squirt some paint around. Okay, so that's that area kind of all done and back into epoxy and sealed up. For the most part, pretty happy with how all the gaps and that have all kind of landed up. There's a few little bits here and there that are a bit wiggly woo and stuff like that, but you know, I'm alright with it. That's actually a little proud out there, but it's alright, you know, like depending on how you look at it. That was a tricky gap to do, that bottom one, mainly because of the way, you know, that roll pan kind of flows out, I guess, and that kind of bottom edge wants to kind of go that way. And my deck lid, trunk lid, boot lid, Franken boot lid is it's not quite the same on both sides, I think, anyway. So, and definitely the lip, the old boot lip, because when I got this car, okay, long story, when I got this car, the roll pan had already been replaced, I think by the previous owner, maybe someone before that, I don't know, and it, you know, had been welded and ground, and it was real thin, like along that top edge and stuff, and it was really wiggly and wobbly and whatnot. At first glance it looked okay, but then when I kind of like, you know, started poking around, I realised it was kind of needed a lot of work. And then I had the idea to extend the rear fenders and put the 55 bumper and stuff like that on, and I thought I wanted to, you know, get this kind of flow down, kind of try and carry the flow of the car down, you know, the kind of sort of thing. Would have been cool with a little bit more actually, but it didn't. It kind of worked out the way it worked out. I didn't really have a plan when I started it, put it that way, not a solid plan. But yeah, so I kind of, when I did that kind of change around with that roll pan and cut all this and grafted it and stuff like that, it just kind of worked out the way it worked out, and some of this edge was all kind of pretty beat up to start with. In retrospect, or hindsight, whatever you want to call it, I probably should have just made a whole new lip maybe, if I'd had the skills to do it with the tooling and stuff. I don't know whether I actually could have or not, but you know, now I probably would try it. You know, now I would probably try and do that, make a whole new lip, and not deal with all the issues. But I'd probably, you know, get it 90% of the way there, and then have problems. But on the whole, like, I'm pretty happy with how this is all kind of landed. There's still, you know, obviously blemishes and some bit of fluff landed in over here somewhere, and there's still sanding marks and crap like that, and pinholes and shit. But it's sealed up, and the bulk of the body filler stuff's done for this area here now, you know. So she's kind of like evened out pretty good and feels uniform on both sides, you know, till I'm happy enough. And I just kind of rolled it up a bit, and so when we start doing this stuff, we'll kind of come back over the top and kind of work these areas a little bit more. That factory lead joint, I kind of didn't do a very good job on either side with those. Left them a little bit shallow, so they might get another bit of a skim just to kind of fill them out a little bit more. But yeah, so that's that bit of progress done. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. I might kind of come into this area here and maybe do these little bits up around the window frames and things like that. Kind of itching to keep getting moving forward on all this body stuff, so I can get the main body kind of really kind of in there, and then I'll get it down on the ground and get it out of the garage and give it a real good clean out before I start doing the hood and the front fenders. And I've still got to do a heap of stuff on all the sheet metal that goes in the front here as well. Might do that before I do the hood and the fenders. So once I do the hood and the fenders, then they can kind of get bolted straight back on, because I'll have all this sheet metal finished and bolted onto the car, and it'll get it all out. Look, it's all buried under my boxes, and it's all in that back room and stuff. But yeah, so we'll run there, that's alright. So we just got to start working our way into these sides. This door here I haven't really done anything to, so that's all got to be done. I've got little bits like up here that, you know, that will get done when I sort of start doing the smaller stuff and do the jams and things like that. But yeah, so that's a bit straighter. It's not straight, but it's straighter than it was, so that's good. It's a win. But yeah, so that's where we're going to leave this video on. More, you know, I don't know how this edit's going to come out. Like, there's a lot of sanding and filling and sanding and filling. It's kind of not terribly exciting, but I really appreciate you guys who keep coming back for more, and watching the channel, you know. Like, it's sort of and, you know, giving advice and inspiration and support and, you know, stuff like that. It's really kind of good. Yeah, so we'll just keep plugging along. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm on the Instagram and the Facebook under DMAC Customs, and you know, right here on the YouTube, because if you're watching this you probably know that already. So yeah, you can sort of jump on there and have a look. See, there's not a whole lot of different stuff happening on there yet, but maybe at some point we'll chuck a bit more on there. And yeah, I guess till next time, take it easy and peace.